am the program. Thank you. I have the great big note to record it and I still forgot. Thank you very much for hitting record, Professor Snowden. uh, I am the program coordinator here at Central Washington University and at NESSP's headquarters. Also on the line here, hiding very quietly, is Professor Snowden. She is our executive director. I did not see Anita, who is our office assistant, here also, but she may be lurking in the background also. So we're going to be going over common questions and information about the Artemis ROADS, which is our program for this academic year. And of course, the slides did not change. Here we go. So for those of you that are not familiar with NESSP, NESSP is our acronym for Northwest Earth and Space Sciences Pathways. And I'm not sure NESSP is any easier to pronounce than saying the whole word, but that's who we are. We are basically NASA's presence in the Pacific Northwest. So if you look on the map here, you see quite a bit going on in the mid-Atlantic and eastern seaboard. Quite a bit going on down in the Bible Belt down here, and quite a bit actually going on in California with some really famous locations known in California. But when you start getting up into our beautiful Pacific Northwest, it gets really barren. So we have an opportunity to fill the gap there and provide some educational resources to both students and other resources to educators. We have a very loose definition of educators. Does not have to be a formal educator. You do not have to be a licensed teacher or in a educational setting. Youth organizers, youth organizations, adults, homeschools, community organizations, they all fall under that umbrella. So if you are working with a youth group, we would happily have you as one of our educators here at NESSP. As it says, we provide hands-on activities based on NASA missions and sciences. Each year, our challenge changes. So we come up with new activities based on NASA's mission, either current missions or ones that are kind of even coming up. We are focused to serve on underrepresented rural and underrepresented communities. So you'll hear me talk about that throughout the presentation today. And our ultimate goal is to get youth interested in STEM careers. We are the funding organization for several other organizations. So NASA funds us, and through our partnerships all throughout the Pacific Northwest and also out in Arizona and in Texas, we are able to provide resources to students all across the U.S. So if you're in Montana, you actually have two resources there. The Montana Learning Center is one of our partners, as well as Bozeman State University. If you are in Seattle or here locally in Washington, you're actually covered very well. We have partnerships with Museum of Flight, the Pacific Science Center, Red-Tailed Hawks Flying Club. So if you know some youth that are interested in learning to be pilots, the Red-Tailed Hawks Flying Club is an excellent resource for them. And then, of course, University of Washington Riverways, and then the West Sound STEM Network. If you're in Idaho, University of Idaho STEM Access is our direct connection there. And there we're talking to Susan, who will be your resource there. And if you're out in Oregon, you are with OMSI there. And oh, I'm sorry if I did forget the Olympic Educational Service District, please forgive me. Kim Weaver is our lead educational resource. I guess I shouldn't say academic. She and Professor Snowden do a lot of the educational resources that we'll talk about with the companion course and also with the challenge as we go along. So again, well represented all across the Pacific Northwest and some other regions also. So NESSP, for the most part, provides services year-round directly to students. So right now we're in the academic year. So in October and June, we really focus on the companion course and professional development to kind of expose our educators as to what the challenges will be, what the challenge will be for the upcoming year, as well as the companion course materials that support it. January to June is when we start running the National Student Challenge. Now, we are about a week away from close for the National Student Challenge. So if you're sitting on the fence about being a mission advisor, please make your decision soon, because once that closes on January 17th, we will not allow late registrations. So the companion course and the National Student Challenge in particular are for grades 3 through 12, and it is differentiated by grade level. So there's different activities based on the students' grade levels. Again, we do support underrepresented groups, so our resources are available for residents and citizens of the U.S., tribal organizations, and all the U.S. territories. Resources are available both online as well as in person through our virtual talks that we'll cover in a little bit. If you sign up for a companion course and you request loaner materials, those are available to you on 2-month loan. And it's extremely important that you return those back to us. We're going to talk about that quite a bit because we have basically a library of materials that we rotate through for the different educators that are interested in doing the companion course as a standalone for their students. So it's really important that if we send it out to you, please send it back. We have another educator literally waiting in the wings to receive it in their classroom. The National Challenge is a little bit looser. The equipment loan is 5 months to indefinite. We hope that if you become a mission advisor, that you will join us each year, year to year, and just continue with us. Going over to the summer, NESSP hosts mini missions. So these are condensed bite-sized versions of our challenge that are set up to be done in a 1-week summer camp. You can extend it because all of our lesson plans are available to be adaptable to what will fit within your community. So if you're like, oh, I was hoping my summer program runs 6 weeks or 8 weeks, you can adapt the mini missions to extend throughout your summer. Again, grades 3 through 12 throughout the U.S. territories. And for the most part, things for the mini missions are on a 3 to 5 day loan. But again, if you're going to be implementing the mini mission over a long-term summer program, we will allow you to use the equipment for your summer program. And then finally, we host a summer academy for students in grades 9 through 12. You do have to be a Washington or Oregon resident in order to take part. Right now, our summer program that we're going to be doing is called Explore Mars Academy, and it will be a week-long residential program here at Central Washington, specifically for students that are currently 8th grade or 9th grade. So rising 9th grade and 10th grade is who will be with us for our summer. Okay. All right. And the note down on the bottom, which is extremely important regarding the National Student Challenge. Unlike all of our other programs, the National Student Challenge has a wonderful benefit at the end. Teams that submit their mission development log or MDL that show that they've completed all of the missions will enter a chance to win a trip to NASA Center. And that is specifically for our middle and high school teams. We are gone for a week, and it is a very intense week, but they do have this wonderful opportunity, and we're going to see some pictures from that later on. And also with the National Student Challenge, you can be invited to one of our regional expo events. So what is ROADS, which I keep referring to and not giving you guys a definition? ROADS is our framework, and it stands for Rover Observation and Discoveries in Space. It's our framework where we provide hands-on activities that are NGSS aligned, that are all based on NASA missions. So it provides students an opportunity who are in grades 3 through 12 to model their own NASA missions. They get a chance to work with robots to survey the landscape, whether it's on a moon or on a planet. This year, they'll prepare a launch with a rocket, and we're focusing on simulating living and working on the moon with the Artemis II challenge. And again, all of our ROADS missions take inspiration from real NASA missions. So I'm going to give you a little bit of history. This is not our first rodeo. We've been doing this for a little bit. NESSP has been at Central Washington now officially since I'm sorry, got ahead of myself, got behind myself, since 2022. Is that correct, Professor Snowden, or was it 2021? Oh, she's
No,
gonna
I'm
leave.
here. Yes, that's right.
Okay. So the program transferred from University of Washington, where it was founded under Dr. Robert Wingley, with the Angles Challenge, which was the Apollo Next Giant Leap Student Challenge, which was very much focused on the moon. And then they created the ROADS acronym, which was the Rover Observation and Drone Survey, and they did a challenge based on Mars. And then our lovely friend COVID hit and kind of threw a monkey wrench in everything. So we had to go freestyle, and we did everything virtual for the next few years. Came back to Roads on Asteroids in 2021, and then Icy Worlds, Roads on Icy Worlds in 2021, 2022. Artemis ROADS was our first full challenge here at Central Washington University, and now we are doing Artemis ROADS II. So Artemis ROADS II kind of picks up where Artemis ROADS left off, from first getting to the moon, and now we're going to focus on living and working on the moon, because the whole point of NASA's Artemis mission is to use the moon as a jumping off point for Mars. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the companion course. There's going to be a lot of overlap between the companion course and the challenge, and I'm going to try and make it as clear as humanly possible to understand. So the companion course is going to be ideal for classrooms, for after-school programs, a science or STEM club, youth organization, and homeschooling. Grade levels 3 through 5. There are lessons specifically for that, but NGSS aligned at grades 6 through 12. We also have it set up so that you can extend it to make things that are locally and culturally relevant to your community, which is extremely important for what we want to make sure students see themselves as scientists in their community and to have them represented. So it is organized around the 5E instructional model. It includes standard aligned materials for middle and high school students. This year's companion course has 4 units across 11 lessons, or 11 lessons across 4 units. And each unit and lesson feature a guiding question. And again, it's culturally adaptive. So we'll peek through some of the units. Unit 1 is understanding the mission and the moon. So here are the individual lessons within it. Unit 2 is preparing for launch, and then pack your moon kit. And that's what you're looking at here. And pack your moon kit is one of the most popular lessons that are in there. And I do not want to shortchange the mission patch, which is going to be coming up, because that's extremely important. That is what's going to tie your students together as a team and as a unit, so that they're going to be representing themselves with a mission patch. Unit 3 is living and working on the moon. So they'll be building a habitat on the moon, gardening on the moon, studying the Earth from the moon, which is a brand new perspective. ROVing on the moon, I forgot the G. So that's for the robots, and then presenting and reflecting on their overall mission. Of course. So the companion course has some things that are optional. The companion course is the more relaxed of the 2 environments. So we offer additional supports for you, and we're hoping that you will take advantage of them. We offer bi-weekly office hours. We have our first one coming up next week. You are invited to attend our virtual NASA expert talks. And if you see our events calendar, you'll get all of the information you need on how to log into those. The companion course really provides an opportunity for you to expand your educational materials in a formal or informal setting. And for those of you that take part in the challenge, it provides you with some additional educational resources for your students. Specifically with the challenge, the students just cannot get enough of it. So we've got some additional resources for you there. This is what a companion course lesson looks like. So you can see at the top here is our guiding question. Here is the actual lesson plan. We also give you estimates on how long we expect you to take. But again, everything is adaptable, so you can do it longer or shorter. You can do all, part, some, none of the individual lessons. Again, we want it to fit within what's going to work for you. Here, we'll show you the 5E phase that it fits in, and then if there is an opportunity to extend it culturally or locally relevant for your community, we have a special icon that will present it there. The manual for the companion course, as well as for the challenge, is available in both English and Spanish. So we provide support for the companion course in the form of 2-month equipment loans, in addition to the companion course manual in and of itself. Unfortunately, the window to request loans for the companion course has closed. It's usually open in early August to October so that we can get everything set up to ship things out to you throughout the academic year. But if you're going to join us next year, something to put in the back of your mind that if you're going to be doing this with a large group of students, you'll want to request those equipment loans by October. So this year, the companion course lessons that we are supporting is Getting to the Moon. We'll have the altitude tracker and the launcher available for loans for those of you that have already requested them. ROVing on the Moon gets you a Lego kit as well as our practice maps. The practice maps are unique to the companion course. They are not available in mass for the challenge. We do have them up on the webpage. You can download them and print them off on your own, but we provide them as part of the 2-month equipment loan for the companion course. And then Habitat and Gardening on the Moon. You'll get a 3D pen because you're going to want one of the lessons is to build a 3D structure. You'll get pastry bags and the Grow on the Moon kit, which includes a regolith simulant. So it's very close to the soil that is on the moon. You're going to get grow lights and clam plants because guess what? The gardening on the moon, part of it is trying to grow something in the regolith. So based on your student size that you tell us will be in your companion course, we will send out a preset equipment loan to support you. Okay. Benefits of the companion course: it can be used by itself to supplement your educational materials. There's structured lesson plans, NGSS aligned for grades 6 through 12. For a lot of teachers, it's extremely important, and I'm going to say teachers in this formal environment, a formal teacher, when they're introducing things into their classroom, they do need to be standards aligned. So this fits that bill very easily. Again, it follows a 5E model. The equipment loans are available. It's available in both English and Spanish, and the cultural adaptation is a major benefit. No pressure is a major benefit. There's no submission requirements with the companion course. Flexibility on your activity order. You can do them in whatever order you want, whichever ones you choose. It is a great way to ease into the challenge and to find out if you have students that are going to want to stick with it for the entire duration of the challenge. It's a great way to gauge your interest. It's very relaxed. You can opt in for the expert talks, the office hours, and all of our special events. No recognition is provided because it is a companion course, and the students are not eligible for the NASA Center trip if you're only doing the companion course. So we'll talk about where the overlay is between companion course and challenge in just a minute. And again, for those of you that do the challenge, the companion course provides additional resources, and it can be used in tandem with the challenge, and it provides that additional content and depth. So let's talk about where the overlap is between the companion course and the challenge, and then we'll talk about the challenge on its own. And again, if you guys have questions, you can drop them in the chat. You can raise your hand or say, Deanna, what's going on? And I have a question, and I'll be happy to answer it for you. So here are, across the top, are our 4 units from the companion course. And then here are the individual units within them and the lessons within. Down on the bottom is the mission objectives for the student challenge. So there are 8 mission objectives, but there are 11 lessons across the different units. So you'll see there's some units that don't have a mission objective tied to them. And then we have WILW sitting out here all by itself, and that is Wing It Like Wingly. This is an optional mission objective. It is named after our former director, who unfortunately passed away unexpectedly about 3 years ago. So we keep him as part of the challenge. And the Wing It Like Wingly is basically what in your challenge did not go as you planned and how did you solve it? So we'll talk about the different mission objectives in detail now. So these are the 8 mission objectives. The first, the MDL, Mission Development Log, we want your team to start coming together, doing planning, discussion. What are your trials? What are your failures? This is the documentation phase. So we did not forget the importance of document, 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 document. For the challenge, your teams will be required to submit their MDL, which shows us their thought train from beginning of challenge all throughout the end. Mission Objective 2, they will make a mission patch. And this is where we're really going to see who your team is and how they're represented. So we hope that you'll create a mission patch that not only represents your community, your team, your culture, but the Artemis ROADS II mission as a whole. Mission Objective 3, getting to the moon. We're going to provide you with the tools to launch a rocket, and we want to see what your rocket looks like and then tell us how high it went. Building habitats on the moon. Again, they're going to design and build a three-dimensional structure using the 3D pen and the regolith sample, or creating their own lavacrete from resources that are available to you all. Gardening on the moon. Again, what's it like to try to grow a plant in this lunar simulant? Studying the Earth from the moon. Discover what it's like to study the Earth from the moon. What do you see there? What are seasons going to look like from the moon? ROVing on the moon, your students are going to, and I do say students, not mission advisors, are going to program that robot to accomplish a task. And it does have to be autonomous. So they are going to have to learn how to code. Luckily, the code that's involved with the Lego spikes is super easy. It's actually done with, for those that just want to do something very, very easy, they can do the drag and drop programming. For those of you that want a little bit more of a challenge, the spike robots as well as the EV3s can do the Python programming. And then mission objective 8 is the final mission. Oops. Sorry, did not mean to make people sick, is the final mission closeout. Teams will present their MDL and tell us about how they have done. So here, let's talk about the challenge team. And again, you're going to see overlap because our communities that we're supporting are still the same. So the challenge team is ideal for that committed classroom, that committed after school, STEM club, youth organization, and homeschool community that these students, they know they want to try and solve these challenges. It's for grades 3 through 12. Only the middle school and high school students are eligible for the NASA Center trip. Do rest assured, we do provide adequate recognition for the younger groups. It's just the NASA Center trip is intense. It's a week of on the go. So it's a little bit too strenuous for the younger ages. Supplies that are available for the Roads Challenge are very similar. As a matter of fact, they're the same supplies with one exception that are available for the companion course. So we're going to provide you with the kit for the programmable robot, the water bottle rocket launcher, the Grow on the Moon kit, your LED light, clamps, and remotes, your 3D pen. Again, they're available for rural, underserved, and underrepresented communities, U.S. residents, tribal lands, or indigenous community or U.S. territory. For the most part, we have been able to provide resources for 99% of the mission advisors that sign up to be supported through the challenge. So again, if you're Title I school, if you do free and reduced lunch, if your community is underrepresented, those are right within our wheelhouse, and of course, rural, right within our wheelhouse, and we're able to provide you with supplies without a problem. If you already have a favorite robot and you want to use that, you're welcome to use it. Please make it a small programmable robot. For those of you that are familiar with First Robotics Challenge, the FRC robot is a little too big to be used in this challenge, but if you have a VEX robot or an EV3 or a Parallax that you're familiar with, you're welcome to use that. Any programmable robot will work. The challenge benefits, again, the Mission Advisor Q&A sessions. These are 1-hour introductory sessions and an opportunity to ask specifically what you need help with. Our mini mission support sessions, these are structured environments where Professor Snowden will dig very deep into a specific mission objective and help give you guidance. Our team supply loans, again, long-term loans. We want you to join us year to year. Our office hours are bi-weekly office hours, which are by sign up. So you'll have a 15-minute window to ask your question and to have a dedicated person able to answer your question for you. You can attend the virtual NASA expert talks if you're going to take part in the challenge and your team wants to be eligible. It's a middle or high school team and they want to be eligible for the NASA Kennedy Center. They will have to attend the NASA expert talks, but we record them. So if the time is not convenient, you guys can watch them after the fact. And always our events page is the best place to see what dates are. We send out emails quite frequently to let you know what's coming up and to try to keep you informed. Someone's asked if kits are available for purchase. You can pretty much purchase everything through Amazon. The only thing that I have not seen on Amazon is the regolith simulant. That we get from one of two resources. The easiest nationwide to get from is a company, it used to be called Exolith. They just changed their name to Space Resources, I think, Space Resource Lab. They do national, and then we just switched over to a company locally here in Washington because it's very easy to just run up the road, grab it, and come back. But both do provide resources nationwide. You can have a team with 4 to 6 graders. That's fine. That's not a problem at all. And hold on, there was another question. Okay, so Kristen, I will answer your question separately. And where's Idaho's competition? Oh, I answered that. Okay, so that's pretty much the challenge in a nutshell. Our expert talks, we have 2 virtual expert talks that we're going to have this year for this challenge. We have not scheduled them yet. There are windows when they will be, and again, we will provide you with email notice when they will be. They'll be up on our social media sites. If you're not following us on Facebook or Instagram, please do. NWESSP is our tag, and that will get you right on to us. We normally do the virtual talks via Zoom and also on our YouTube channel. Our NASA expert talks, they talk about their path to becoming a NASA scientist or becoming a NASA engineer. So that's always good. And also what's their day-to-day like job? What do they do on a day-to-day basis? Last year, we were super, super stoked to have Patricia Moore be one of our expert talks. It was, I think she presented a week after the Artemis I launch. So she was still like really, really excited behind it. And she's just a ball of energy to begin with. And so she was just amazing to hear. We've had biologists, engineers, other scientists as speakers, and it's just fabulous, their path to becoming a NASA scientist. Let's see, hold on one second. I saw another question pop up. Yes, you can have more than one. A team can have 2 mission advisors. You'll have a lead mission advisor and then your backup mission advisor. Mission advisors can have more than one team. I think you go by Dot, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, you can definitely have 2 mission advisors. Let's see what else. That's all the questions in the chat. Can you share this? Yes, Julie, we're recording the presentation, and then also I will share it with you all. We'll put it up on the website. You guys can pull it down from there. Teams are 3 to 6 students in grades 3 through 12. And the team designation and classification is based on the oldest student in the team. But even if you have a very young student, say you have a 3rd grader in with your high school students, your 3rd grader will not, and they win the trip to NASA Center. Your 3rd grader, unfortunately, will not be able to attend the trip. I'm sorry. I want to get it out there now. I don't want any tears at a later date. I don't want anybody to say they didn't tell me. It's just too much. We are on the go from 7 a.m. until midnight or 1 o'clock. If we catch a night launch, we're up pretty much all night. So it's just entirely too strenuous for that younger grades. Does every team get a robot? If your team qualifies, yes, Karen, your team will get a robot. If we've already provided you with supplies in the past, we will ask you to use those supplies so that we're able to support other teams. Can you tell me if I'm eligible for materials or do I need to purchase my own? Michael, if you are I can tell you very quickly without looking up, if you're a rural school, you will qualify. If your community is underrepresented or underserved, you will qualify. Title I schools qualify. What else? I'm trying to remember our teams usually hit those 4 criteria. 1 or 2 of those criteria, and you should be good to go. Let's see. Okay, yes, we have not sent out supplies yet, so please don't panic. I think you're good, Daniela. Please be on the lookout, Daniela. We did send out information back on the 28th of December that we may need contract information from you. So stay at the end of the meeting and I will make sure I'll go over that with you. So those of you that sign up as mission advisors now, you will automatically include the information that we need for your contracts. If you signed up back when we were doing PD, we didn't know we were going to need to do contracts at that point. So now we're having to kind of go back and get everybody's contract information. Upward Bound is a summer program that serves first-generation college students. Yes, I know. I was the Upward Bound program coordinator for math and science at University of Hawaii at Hilo. 7.5 years. Yes, Upward Bound is very, very near and dear to my heart. You would qualify for a mini mission. No problem there. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes also. So yes, thanks for bringing Upward Bound into my talk. So these are the different stages for the Artemis ROADS II challenge. Liftoff, which is where we are right now. You sign up as a mission advisor and woo-hoo-hoo, by January 17th, you have completed liftoff. Next stage, I didn't update this. Our next stage is actually injection burn, not core separation. We did away with that one. So with injection burn, you will provide us your team name, your team members. They'll do mission objective 2, which is the mission patch, and you'll upload all that by January 31st at 5 p.m. Pacific time. We have hard deadlines, so please make sure you are paying attention to time zones and the time. When it closes, we will not be reopening it. I am sorry. So please make note of the time now. Lunar Flyby is next, and that is where you'll submit photos of a total of 4 mission objectives. You can do the mission objectives in whatever order you want. The only one that has to be by a due date is mission objective 2 by January 31. And then reentry, which is where you will provide us with all of your mission objectives if you want to go if your team is going for the NASA trip by June 5th. So here you see, oh my God, I still left it on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to confuse everybody. I'm sorry. I tried to make sure I went through this and got everything correct. But here are your dates. They're also on our calendar, and I will correct this presentation for the millionth time again before I put it up on our website. Okay. Let's see. Kristen asked, if you do not represent an underrepresented group, is there a place to purchase all the materials? If it's Amazon, yes. And actually you can use the list that I've provided, Kristen. So someone says I'm in year 17. Oh, for doing Upward Bound. Woo. So we count summers in Upward Bound. So is that 17 summers or is it actually 18 summers? So let me know. I remember that about Upward Bound. And Kristen, if you're not a Title I school, you're not even a Title I school. So we try to make resources available as much as possible. Here's our challenge schedule. This is in the challenge manual as well as on our webpage. So don't go crazy trying to take pictures, screenshots or anything. This is all available online. And again, we're going to be sending you emails to let you know that things are open and closed. Registration windows, there's an open date, there's a closed date. We will let you know when those are. The very first NASA expert talk is coming up in February, and we're working on getting that expert in now. And then we'll have another NASA expert in March. So how do you get to participate in the challenge? Become a mission advisor. Register by January 17th. This is liftoff. 1 registration per team. Multiple teams are allowed. So far, I think North Carolina is our state that has the most most teams under 1 mission advisor, and I think they're at 17. Basically, they do, I think the entire 5th grade does the challenge. So North Carolina is the one to beat if you want to be the one that has the most teams as a mission advisor. You'll then provide your team information by January 31st. That's injection burn. You will have opportunities to update, change, and consolidate team members. So when it says add, I'm meaning there, because we know students drop activities. Oh, I want to do baseball. I want to do soccer. I want to do Girl Scouts. I want to do Boy Scouts. I want to do Boys and Girls Club. Not understanding that there's only 24 hours in a day, that mom and dad need to eat and rest and cook dinner and do everything. So they get all excited about doing the challenge, and then all these other activities get into it. And you go from a team of having 6 committed students to 1 student. So if you have multiple teams, you can consolidate the team. You just need to let us know. So we will consolidate your team and give you your updated team information, team number from that. And that we'll be doing as we do the mid-challenge submissions. We really are trying to make this as easy for you all as possible. Question. Oh, coming up on summer 17. Wow, that is amazing. How many teams total get to go to Kennedy Space Center? And I mean, how many can win? That really depends. So I cannot give you a definite answer right now. Last year, we took 13 teams, if I'm not mistaken. And that was 75 people with our staff as chaperones, with the mission advisors also. So it's a big group that we take. So here, speaking of the final challenge, that was like perfect cue, Michael. Couldn't have asked for that better. For the in-person expo, these are some of the activities that the students are doing at the expo. Again, last year, there was a rocket component to it with the balloon rocket, not an outdoor rocket. We were indoors. So they had a balloon rocket that they had to lift off. And then this was the robotics challenge. This was us last year. This is one of the half of the team that went, half of the group that went. Again, 75 people is a lot of people. We had to split the group in 2, but we got to go to the vehicle assembly building. We spent like an hour in there. This was not my group. In here somewhere is Professor Snowden. This was her group. This is actually Anita's group and Professor Snowden's group. Their group was obviously much more put together than our group because we did not get a very good group picture. We were too busy in awe of the vehicle assembly building, and where when we got together as a group, instead of looking at the camera, we're all looking up to see how high this place is. And we were there for an hour and we were still awestruck. So it's pretty amazing to go. So coming summer 2024, these are our mini missions. So Artemis ROADS II, again, bite-sized versions of our challenges that we have across the year. So we'll have a mini mission based on the Artemis ROADS II. It will be for grades 3 through 12, and it will be available for July and August. Artemis ROADS I, which was last year's challenge, so mini missions based on last year's challenge, again for grades 3 through 12. James Webb Telescope mini mission is for grades 6 through 10. It is a little bit more involved, so we do have that as a higher grade there, and it will be available only in July. And then the Icy Worlds mini mission for grades 3 through 12, available for both July and August. You'll sign up for the coming summer mini missions. I think we'll start working those early spring, so March possibly. We will host a one-day virtual training session, which is required. There are stipends available for the educators that are the mission advisor leaders for the mini mission. We provide you with recruitment flyers, recruitment flyers. There are supply loans available for several of the mini missions. They do need to come back to us because there will be another educator getting ready to host their mini mission. So we will recycle that equipment in and out. There will be enough supplies to complete your camp activities with your students that you have. We provide t-shirts and lanyards. And then there is an editable certificate of completion that we will provide for you for your students. And again, that's coming in the summer. Also coming summer 2024, talked about this at the very beginning, is our Explore Mars Academy, which is hosted for residents of Washington and Oregon, currently in the 8th and 9th grade here on campus. They will take part in a geologic sample return and live in the dorms here for the entire week. All of our services that we've talked about today are provided completely free of charge to educators, parents, participants. We are completely funded by NASA to provide these resources to our underrepresented, underserved, and rural communities, tribal communities. So we try to make the resources available. So, 4:45, I did it. Do you guys have any questions that I can answer? Feel free to unmute yourself and I will go. Daniela asked the questions. For the companion course, I saw the lesson plan says middle school. Would we be able to use it for high school after school program? Is there a lesson plan for high school? Daniela, there should be a lesson plan for each of the grade levels.